Jai Gurudev. Jai Masters. The greatest part of Western teachings, Western science, Western medicine that is missing is the understanding of their underlying energy flow. If you have a blender and the blade is broken, the glass is broken, the motor is broken, by all means, take it to a blender repair shop, and there's something physically wrong with the blender. But if you find that your blender goes, it may not be the blender. If the electricity coming in is doing that, then the blender is going to do that. Same thing is true of you. You have energy, Shakti, Chi, call it whatever you want. There's an energy flow that flows into your body, and it is what flows through the nerves. It is the power that moves the muscles. It is what digests your food. It is what makes all the metabolic processes take place. It is what makes your heart beat. It is what makes your lungs go in and out. And I have proof. When it leaves, all those things stop right away. And if somehow it comes back, then they start up again. When the energy leaves the body in deep meditation, all the metabolic processes slow down, very far down. I remember when I was writing The Search for Truth back in the 70s, I was researching. There was a yogi who allowed the medical doctors to bury him, to monitor him with probes when he buried himself under the ground for 2 to 3 days, of which they said you can live for hours. And he came out absolutely perfectly fine. And they literally had to rewrite the medical books as to what basal metabolism was. In other words, how far down could the basal metabolism go and still sustain life. And what I thought was rather funny is later they interviewed him and he said they were very marveled at what a yogi could do, but when they asked him, would you like to know where I went during that time, they all said no. But you do it. When you go to sleep, your breath slows down, your heart slows down a great deal, all your bodily functions slow down. It is because you left. It is because you detached yourself further from your body, and therefore the energy flow is not flowing as rapidly through the body. It's simply the truth. Trouble is you can't prove it because they don't have instruments that can measure the Shakti yet. They're starting to. There are things that can pick that up. But in any event, as yogis, as people who are working with yourself, you know that you have an energy flow. Sometimes you feel high, sometimes you feel low. Sometimes you feel very energetic, and sometimes you feel completely like a wet noodle. This is your energy flow. It is the most important thing to know about, and it marvels me that the West knows very little about it. Though it's much more today. They are working with it. So what is this energy flow? How does it work? Why is it there sometimes? Why is it not there other times? Where does it come from? These are the most important questions that you could ever ask. Because if the electricity going to that blender is not doing well, the blender's not going to do well. I don't care what machine shop you take it to. I don't care what engine you put in it, what motor you put in it. You understand that? It is the electricity, the energy flowing into it that gives it a chance to be healthy, to be well. So if the energy is not flowing well within your body, we'll talk about why in a moment, but if the chi, the shakti, the prana, call it whatever you want, is not flowing well within your body, then the different elements of your body, your muscles, your nerves, everything, your cells, are not getting what they need. They're not getting a source of what they need. And it can be the cause of lots of sicknesses. It can be the cause of energy sicknesses. It can be the cause of cancers. It can be the cause of all kind of aging. It can be the cause of all sorts of things. And if we don't pay attention to it, then what we try to do is to only work with the blender. And next thing you know, they're giving you a hip replacement, when the truth of the matter is the energy was not flowing properly. You were blocked in that area, and your muscles were not sustaining the structure, and all that was needed is some acupuncture. All that was needed was some massage. All that was needed was some way to release the energies that are blocked. And people who do body work and work with themselves, they understand this. So that's how it works within the body. So lots of times when you're sick, lots of times when you have pains and muscle problems and different things, it's really the flow of the energy not coming into the body properly, causing problems. But your physical body is the last recipient of this energy flow. In order for the energy flow to flow into your physical body, it must first pass through your mind, we call it the mental body, through your mind, and through your emotions. These are two layers that the energy has to flow through. When the energy flows into the mind, it's exactly the same as when it flows in the body, in the sense of the discussion that we have. When it is flowing properly, your mind is calm. Your mind is clear, like after meditation. You feel sharp. You can remember things. You can call upon your mind to function properly. Or it can be quiet and feel completely peaceful. This is when the energy is flowing through the mind, past the mind. If the energy cannot flow past the mind, like I said, we'll discuss why in a moment, if it cannot pass through what we call the mental body, or manamaya kosha, that the yogis call it, but just the mental body, through the area where you think, the area of your mind, if it can't flow through, then it starts to cause short circuits. It has to go somewheres. The next thing you know, your thoughts are going a mile a minute, or you're feeling nervousness in your mind, or you're feeling discomforts, or all sorts of stuff's going on that's not healthy. That's just like your physical body cannot feel healthy, your mind cannot feel healthy. And the vast majority of time, in fact, it's almost in your body, there can be physiological problems. So I can't say it's always the energy. I can say it's always the energy in your mind. Your mind cannot have physiological problems. Your brain can, but that's not your mind. Your mind isn't physical. It's not physical. Thoughts are not physical. And so basically it is always an energy flow problem that causes disturbance in the mind. And causes that sort of neurosis and activity and constantly thinking about things and not being able to relax and so on. When the energy makes it through the mind, it starts to work with the heart. It starts to go into what we call the energy body. And that's what you feel as your emotions and that sort of stuff. As the energy goes into there, if it has been disturbed by the mind, then it doesn't come in evenly to the emotions. The next thing you know, you're feeling nervous, you're feeling your heart's awkward, you're feeling insecure, all kinds of junky, low energy emotions start to take place. You know what I'm talking about. If you just change your mind, your entire emotional set can change. That's why they teach you positive thinking. That's where all that stuff comes from, all right? Just by changing the thoughts that are going on in your mind, your entire energy flow becomes more even, becomes more positive. It's like an energy flowing into the blender. So therefore, when it flows through the heart, when it flows through your energy body, your emotional body, it doesn't create as much disturbance. All of these are tied together. You can have thoughts that make you get sick, physically. Literally, you can start thinking really heavy, and you start getting sick. You get pains, pains in your lower back and pains in your stomach. Right? What do you think ulcers are? It's not like we don't understand this. It's not like if somebody says, oh, it's a psychosomatic ailment. That doesn't mean it's not there. Right? It just means that the mental body started the disturbance, and by the time it came down here, it manifested as problems within different parts of your body. So that's just what happens. It's there. And then more important, the one I really like to talk about, is the mind and the emotions. The body's innocent. It's not doing anything. It's the recipient of all of this. But your mind and your emotions, especially your mind, it is doing something. Your mind is creating a lot of disturbance in the energy flows that end up disturbing you emotionally and then disturbing you physiologically. And then by the time the body gets sick, then the mind has more to complain about. By the time the emotions get sick, then the mind has more to complain about. And next thing you know, you're in what's called a downward spiral. You go down. It's terrible. You get depressed and all sorts of things. What do you think depression is? What is depression? Depression is a word for low energy. That's what depression is. If somebody has very, very low energy, their energy is depressed. What about if somebody's high, open, then the energy's up. You feel it all the time. I just noticed you smile. Do you know why you smile? Do you know what a smile is? When the energy comes up, it lifts things, such as your cheekbones and the muscles of your face. When the energy drops down and it does not flow in like that, they drop down to a frown. every single thing is this energy flow. We feel it. You're in there. You do feel it, don't you? High energy, low energy, and so on. And just because the doctor can't measure it doesn't mean it's not there. So the most important thing in your life is your energy flow. Period. For your physical health, for your emotional health, and for your mental health. It's about the flow of your energy. Yoga is the science of that energy flow. That is truly what it is. If this energy flow is so important, I want to know about it. Where does energy come from? Why is it here sometimes and not other times? Why does it disturb the mind? Why do the emotions get disturbed? Why does it show up in the body? That is the science that yoga has studied for thousands and thousands of years. More important than yoga studying it is that you study it. You live in there. You notice the changes in your energy flow. So let's get down to it. I'm going to start at the high end first. Why do I have a limit of energy? Why sometimes do I feel filled with energy? I mean, literally, I could take on the world. I feel filled with it. And other times I'm like a wet noodle. I just can't even, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do anything. I just am low energy. You know what I'm talking about, all right? I don't feel that. Is that somehow there's not enough energy? The answer is, and I'll get there later, but I want to say it, there is infinite energy, period, for you and for everybody else. There is literally no limit to the amount of energy that is available to you. It is just a question as to whether you are open to it, whether you can tie into it. Master used to say, Uganda used to say, if the amount of energy opened up fully, it would burn you up. You would never be able to handle it. That it takes yogis years and years and years of purifying the body, of purifying the mind, of opening the emotions to be able to handle a fraction of it. All right? But there's infinite energy. I'm telling you, there's infinite energy. Just so I keep you interested, I'm telling you, you take the lowest you've been. You're just, oh my God, you're so tired, you can't even move, right? You could, in a snap of a finger, turn around inside of your own will, if you knew how to do it, and be filled with energy and not even know what to do with all that energy. You can't wait to take on the world. You are capable of doing that within yourself anytime you want. How's that for a challenge? And how about also, isn't it a shame if you're not doing it? If it's true that there's infinite energy, and if it's true that you're capable of tapping into it anytime you want, what are you running around being upset about? What are you running around low energy? Okay, why don't I feel energy all the time? If I have a river that's flowing behind my house, not a big river, but a river, it's flowing behind my house, and somebody dams it up upstream, why don't I have any water? I didn't do anything, right? Because it got blocked upstream. If it's blocked upstream, I don't get any, do I? That's exactly why your energy flow is blocked. It is just like that's why the Bible uses the analogy of the flow of holy waters, because the energy is like the flow of water. It has a characteristic. If you block the energy, say in your mind, we'll talk about the mental blockages in a moment. If you block the flow of the energy, if you dam it up, if you put an obstacle in the way of the energy so that it can't flow past it, or not much can flow past it, then your emotions will get all low. You'll start having low emotions. What does that mean, by the way? You could go all the way down to where you're so depressed and so close that you have no emotions. You know that. You're just flat. All right? But there are low emotions. Not liking things, jealousy, insecurity, self-consciousness, embarrassment, shame. These are low emotions compared to love and inspiration and beauty and passion, right or wrong, all right? There are low emotions. It is like the light spectrum. If you look at the electromagnetic light spectrum, for every single vibration of a wave, all the different wavelengths of the light, of energy, you have blue and red and orange, etc., right? You end up with different wavelengths of light. Those are exactly the same as your different emotions. If your energy is flowing very slowly and it's blocked, it will only stimulate enough energy to have low vibrations, low emotions. I'm depressed, I'm not happy, I've never been. And it feels like everything's that way, doesn't it? All right? That's because you don't have enough energy flowing into the emotional body in order to raise the vibration rate of, it's not the electromagnetic spectrum, but it's your emotional spectrum. It can't raise it up. It takes more energy to play this high note than that low note. The low note is a longer wave. It doesn't take as much energy as it takes for a fast, highly vacillating wave. So basically it is exactly the same with your emotions. So again, it is the energy flows that are determining this. So what blocks the energy flow? I started with your mind. How do I block the energy flow with your mind? You do it all the time. Watch. You're filled with excitement. It's just something happened, really turns you on, right? Somebody said they liked you, that you didn't know they liked you, or you get there going to play a ball game, well, who knows, whatever it is. You got turned on. All this energy is flowing. You tell me whether it's true that you could have a single thought. Well, what if she says it to everybody and all the energy stops? Happens all the time, doesn't it? There, you see, you do know. I don't need to teach you. You're just not paying attention. Isn't it true what I just said? And then she comes back or he comes back and says, I don't say this to anybody. I hope you don't think I say it to anybody. You're really special today. Energy's flowing again in it. Why? How could that be? What's going on? Because your thoughts block your energy flow. And if you have negative thoughts, if they are low vibration thoughts, they act as rocks or obstacles. They're heavy. They're heavy thoughts. I'm having heavy thoughts, all right? Then the energy can't flow past them, and it doesn't make it down to your emotional body, and your physical body gets tired. You can go from so tired that you feel like you want to go to sleep to go out and party and ready to go in a billionth of a second. Can't you? If something happens that makes you think differently. All of a sudden there's all this energy. I'm not even tired anymore. That's why I'm talking to you about this. This is the most important thing you can ever be talked to about. This is your life. And so your thoughts have the ability to block the energy flow. Negative thoughts, down thoughts, etc., block the flow of the energy. High thoughts allow the energy to stimulate and pass through. That's why you're taught positive thinking. That's why you're taught affirmation. Somebody tells you, okay, you're going to go give a talk, a public talk at school or something like that. You're scared. You tell me whether you're going to do better. Here's 2 ways you can think. Oh my God, I don't want to do this. Oh my God, no, I'm going to blow it. Oh my God, I'm going to get so embarrassed. I'll call in sick. I don't want to do this. Oh my God, I don't want to do this. How are we doing? Right? How about, I can and I will. I can and I will. That's what I'm actually telling everybody. No matter what, just say, I can and I will. I can and I will. This is going to be great. I'm going to do well with this. Which way are you better off? Okay? What ends up happening is a whole other question. All right? But what I'm interested in is how are you doing in between? Because, there it is anyways, right? And if you have positive thoughts, if you can raise the vibration rate of your thoughts, more energy is going to come into you. And the truth of the matter is you're going to be much better giving that talk. There's no way you're going to give a talk if you're scared to death. There's no way if you're insecure and you're scared and you've told yourself that you're going to blow it and you're going to probably choke up when you get up there, then you probably will. But if you sit there and say to yourself, I can do this, I'm going to do wonderful, this is going to be fun, I don't care what happens, whatever positive affirmation you can do, it is going to make a big difference. And so basically this is, again, why you're taught affirmation, why you're taught positive thoughts. Now, affirmation, there's a funny word. Master Yogananda was very big with affirmation. If you take his lessons, he's big on affirmations, okay? And basically, you believe in affirmations too, but you have to be careful. What is an affirmation? Something you say over and over again to change your state, such as, I know she doesn't like me. She says she does, but she says, I know I'll just get hurt again. I'll just get hurt again. That's an affirmation. You don't think it is, do you? You think of those positive things, I can and I will, I can do this. You think that's an affirmation. No, the other is an affirmation too, isn't it? But you are affirming failure. How often you do the positive one more than you do the negative one? It's not even close. The negative one goes on by itself, doesn't it? Okay? I can't believe I said that. Oh my God, that was so stupid. Oh, I don't know how to talk to the guy again. I'm so embarrassed. How you doing? How you feeling? That's nice talk. How you feel when you talk like that? Terrible. Of course you do. And you get tired and you get scared and you become emotionally weak. Of course you do. Remember when I started this talk about the blender? We were just the transformer going up and down, the amount of energy that's coming in. You're doing the same thing. If you go negative in your mind, you block the energy flow, and by the time that lower vibrational flow flows down to your emotions, I don't want to be there to see what happens. You start getting moody, you start getting depressed, everything starts looking dark. Do you know I have known people, including all of us, okay? It's called revisionist history. I'm married, I'm fine, I'm happy, everything's wonderful, I love my job, then something happens. And all of a sudden, it doesn't look like that anymore. Somehow it looks like this isn't any fun, and I really don't like the job at all, and I'm not sure about the marriage, I would say. And then it's not just that I'm not, then it goes to, I was lying to myself. I never liked this job. And that marriage, that was a mistake to start with. I knew it was going to be. Yes or no? Can it do that? Listen to me. If the energy flowing in is high, it sustains higher emotions and higher thoughts. If the energy flowing in is low, it cannot sustain those thoughts. Therefore, you can't think the way you used to. Therefore, literally, your memory of everything the way you used to think is not there anymore. That's where that comes from. And you know what I'm saying is true. All of a sudden, it goes south, all of it in a minute. It is about the energy flow. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not a psychological basket case. You're not an emotional mess. You're not. And there's nothing wrong with your brain. There's nothing wrong with your thinking ability. If you are blocked, it is not going to work. I always tell everybody, don't be judging anything based on your IQ or what you've done before. Because here's your IQ when you're totally blocked and handicapped. Let's see how well you fight with 2 hands behind your back and your feet tied together. Because that's what's happening. Is your energy flow is messed up. Why wouldn't it be? No one's ever done anything about it. Do you have more negative thoughts or positive thoughts? Now that I defined to you what a negative thought is. Oh my God, why did I say that? I know I shouldn't have said that. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Right? I'm embarrassed. I wore the wrong thing. Oh my God, I thought it was a grunge party. It turned out it was a tuxedo thing. Or I went as a tuxedo. Whatever it is, I can't do anything right. I'll never do anything right. Why even bother? Why even bother going out? I'll just blow it later. Huh? Everybody raise your hand. You haven't worked with your energy flow. And if you haven't worked with it, it's going to be blocked. And if it's blocked, it's not going to flow properly into the rest of your system. And then that's what you're used to, and you start defining yourself as that. And then you do the worst thing in the world. Instead of fixing the blockage inside so that you're able to tap in and sustain yourself with the beautiful energy inside of you, you try to compensate for the missing energy with relationships, with money, with travel, with getting new cars, with doing different things that temporarily give you a shot of energy, but it doesn't last, does it? Not a single one of them lasts. Why? It doesn't get rid of the blockage. It just temporarily distracts you from the negative thinking that you were doing, right? There's no way in the world that anything outside of you is going to fix the blockages inside of you. But it can temporarily distract you, give you a stimulus, so you get raised a little bit, and that's why you like doing those things. I told you a long time ago, nothing I teach is about renunciation. Getting and not getting are the same thing. If you're going outside and you think the answer is outside, and either you go after it to try and get your energy that way, or you decide, no, I won't, I'm going to renounce that because it's outside. Both ways, you're not changing anything. You need to change the blockages that are inside, and everything will change. That is the root. That's why yogis work inside, not outside. Doesn't mean you renounce the outside. Doesn't mean you don't have relationships. Doesn't mean you don't have married. Doesn't mean you don't have babies. Doesn't mean you don't get rich. Doesn't mean anything like that. It means you're not putting one drop of energy into making those things happen because you think they're going to solve your problem that you're low in energy. If you don't feel love, it's because the energy vibration that's passing through inside of you is not high enough to sustain love. Oh, maybe he'll fix it. No, he won't fix it. He's out there. The blockage is in here. So it can't fix it. All right. So we're talking about what's a blockage. And I showed you that you know what the blockage is because you deal with it all the time. One thought can send you south for a month. How about for the rest of your life? Literally. It's so amazing. You're sitting in your relationship, is working perfectly well, and then you sit down and watch a TV show in which their relationship didn't work. And immediately your mind starts going, oh my God, I hope mine doesn't do that. What will I do? I will be so miserable. Oh my God. And then when he comes home, you're real mean to him. I can't believe you did that to me. This is what's going on. So your thoughts block your energy flow. If they are lower thoughts, they are thick, they block it like clouds. If they are higher thoughts, they raise the vibration and they let more go through. If you quiet the mind completely to where the thoughts are not in the way, wait till you see how much energy flows in. All right? So positive thinking is a nice step. The ability to clear your mind when you want to where you don't need to be thinking, you need to be... If you're thinking about how to get energy, you're wasting your time. How about I put it that way, right? The thoughts themselves are blocking your energy. Maybe less than what you were thinking before you thought the thoughts, right? I'm all depressed, nobody likes me. Oh, wow, what if I moved up north? Where there's more, the ratio of women to men in these college towns is greater, right? And you start getting excited and feel more positive, right? If you're using thinking to try to fix the problem that the thinking has caused, that's something wrong with that. All right? So you start to really focus on, okay, what is blocking the energy flow? Why do I even have negative thoughts? What is happening here? And what you're going to find out is that basically you have stored from your past, I've been through this with you, we'll just do it very quickly, you have had experiences in your past. In a sense, I'm going to say it's not your fault, but it is. You've had experiences in the past. These experiences come into you, and they leave impressions on your mind. You almost had a car accident. Somebody said, I love you. You went to go skiing, and you broke your leg. You were in a rush, and the light, every single light changed red when you were trying to rush. You have all of these experiences, don't you? Every single day. They come in, and they leave impressions on your mind. Fine, that's why you experience them. They come into your mind. That's not a problem. They will pass right through. The problem is that you don't let them pass through. That's why I say it's not your fault, but it is. It's not your fault that if you saw a snake or that it rained when you had to go somewhere or that somebody died on you or something like that. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go on. They come in, you have these experiences. You're supposed to let them go. If you never hear anything I've ever told you before, you're not supposed to keep those things in there. They're supposed to come in, you experience them, you learn from them, you grow from them, you become a wholer person because you had the experience. Every single experience you have makes you greater. If you're training, play baseball, let's say, so somebody hits a ball at you a different angle than you're used to, it doesn't matter if you get it or don't get it the first time. The fact that it even happened means you're better than you were before it happened. Every single experience you have is training you and teaching you and making you wholer. Can you see that? Whenever you think about negative experiences, don't. Just understand for a moment, if you've experienced something versus, who's better off? Somebody who experienced something or somebody who didn't? You want to go camping with someone who never saw a rattlesnake or somebody who's seen them numerous times and knows how to deal with them? I'm not saying it's fun to see a rattlesnake. I'm not saying I want you to see a rattlesnake. But if you have an experience, you're a greater person because you had the experience, aren't you? You're wholer. You're greater. That's why these experiences are happening to you. They are gifts. You're having these experiences. You had a relationship and you broke up. Good. Oh, yes. You had an experience. You're a greater person because you went through the relationship. You opened up. It broke up. Your heart broke. You have had an experience that you hadn't had before. That's not a problem. Experiences are never problems. They're experiences. They become problems when you hold them inside yourself and let them make you sick. When you sit there and say, I don't want to have seen a rattlesnake. I'm scared to death of rattlesnakes. I'll never go to the reptile jungle. I'll never do this. I'll never go walk in the woods. Okay, very good. Now you've made yourself a neurotic, sick person. It is not because you saw the snake. That's not the problem. It is not because someone you love died. It is not because the relationship broke up. That's not the problem. That's the experience. The problem is that you couldn't handle the experience. You resisted it. You don't want to have it. Too bad it happened, okay? But you don't want it to happen in there, right? And in here you have some control. You got no control out here. It already happened. But in here, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to experience it. And so you suppress it. You use your will, your power, you in there, the self, you use your power to push it away. I always teach you this because it's the most important thing to learn. You do push it away in there, don't you? When it comes back up, you push it back down, don't you? That's the most important thing you can learn. That's how you're messing up your energy flow. That's what a blockage is. It is an experience that came into you because it happened in the outside world and you happened to be there. It came in and it's trying to teach you something and then pass on through the universe, go about its business. You have blocked it inside yourself. Nothing can block it. That's not natural. It's not natural that the Colorado River stop where the Hoover Dam is. You have to build the Hoover Dam to stop the river, don't you? It is not natural. This event does not make it through you. It makes it through you and you become wholer because of it. The same as the rivers pour into the oceans. Life pours into you and then it goes through your soul. It touches into your whole being and you become a greater person because of every single experience you have, unless you resist the experience. Unless you decide, I don't want to have this experience. I don't want to feel what it feels like. I don't want to go through this. I don't want that my husband died. I don't want that I got divorced. I don't want that I saw a rattlesnake. I don't want that I said something stupid and now I'm that I said something in a conversation. I said something I was wrong. Oh, Oh, imagine that. With my part to contribute, I contributed, and they all jumped on me and said I was wrong. It was an experience that you had, but you couldn't handle it, could you? Understand that. The experience already happened. Right? You have two choices. Honor it, respect it, imbibe it, and learn from it, or decide that you don't want to have had it, even though you did. That's what's so funny. It really happened, right? No, I don't want it. All right? And so inside, you push it away. When you push it away, it stays inside. And it stays exactly, if there's anything I know this, it stays exactly in the same place inside where your energy flows. So it becomes like a rock that you put in a river. It starts creating blockages and eddies and currents and all kinds of disturbances. That is what every single thing you ever resisted is doing inside of you. And you've resisted a lot of them, haven't you? You stored all that stuff up in there. Your whole, anything that happened to you in the past you didn't like, still in there, isn't it? Somebody said something, somebody didn't say something, you're embarrassed about something. And this is blocking your energy flow. And I'm not kidding. This is so important. So now that whole talk I gave about the energy is infinite, well, not infinite anymore, because it can't make it past those blockages. And now I've done that mentally, well, it causes it to be that way emotionally. Because now when an event happens outside, that reminds me, stimulates the past blockage. They do come back up, don't they? All of a sudden, some energy, it comes back up, so the energy hits it, and it becomes a sensitive point. You start crying, you start being emotional, you start getting all emotional about nothing. God, I just met a new guy the other day, just came to work. What was his name? Ben. Ben was my first boyfriend at 11. Well, how long? 30 years ago? I never got over it. I'll bet you didn't. You see it? You live with it every day of your life. You know, you understand this because you're living in here. If you store that stuff in there, over time, you're going to be blocked. That's why you get spacey. That's why you can't remember things. That's why all kinds of stuff goes on. That's why you have all these moods. It is caused by the stuff you have stored in there from the past that you did not permit to go through. That is what's driving your energy flow. And you know it. Because if something happens that's pleasing to what you stored inside, you don't have to go through it you didn't want to from before, or something that pleased you from before starts to happen again, all kinds of good energy comes, doesn't it? All kinds of good stuff. You get all, my God, you can get so excited. It's so unbelievable. If I say, Ben, you start crying about something 30 years ago, and then I tell you a little bit more about him, and your mind starts thinking, could that be my Ben? After all these years, does it really come back around? Oh, now you're, oh boy, you're excited. With a thought, give me a break. This is what's going on in there, and you're not doing anything about it. You just left on an autopilot that the energy runs any way it does, and what you're trying to do is fix it outside, aren't you? You're trying to get a new house, you're trying to get a new car, you're trying to get a new dress, you're trying to get a new this or that, a new boyfriend or girlfriend, telling you, if I just can get it outside, then I'll be okay. No, you won't. Sorry. You'll be temporarily a little bit better. Until you remove those blockages, you don't know what okay sounds like or feels like. And as I said, everybody's capable of it. Why would you not be able to remove the blockages? It's the one thing if I tell you to go pick up the mountain. Now, okay, I can't pick up the mountain, all right? And you're the one who's holding the blockage in there. What's neat, they say what's all said and done. There's a great Buddhist teacher who once said, spirituality is never, ever about getting anything. It's always about getting rid of things. And it wasn't about renunciation. He was talking about being willing to release what you've held inside of yourself. That is the entire spiritual path. That's your entire life. If you hold this stuff in there, it is going to block your energy flow. And all the things I talked about are going to happen. It's going to block it mentally. Then your emotions are going to get low and all kinds of junk's going to go on. Your body's going to get sick. You get tired. And otherwise, you feel this vitality, this flow of Shakti. You're sharp. Your mind becomes sharp. You can remember things. You can talk. It's just totally different experience being in there if you're not in there blocked. It's just amazing what it's like to be canoeing on the lower side of the Colorado River before the dam was there compared to what it is now. Go canoe now down there. There's nothing going on. It's exactly the same. I swear to God, it wasn't even an exaggeration of the difference between what it's going to be like inside of you when you remove these blockages versus what it's like to live in there with them. And none of you have to have those blockages in there. None of you. Because you are holding the blockage in there. So all of spirituality becomes about willingly letting go of what you have stored inside. Now, two things. One, never ever storing another thing in there. I mean, you already see what damage it does. It ruins your life. There's not a single thing that can happen outside that is worth not letting go once it gets inside. It's bad enough that it happened. It happened. It was a bad experience. Why let it be a bad experience for the rest of your life? It's over. It was 20 years ago. I do not understand why, if a terrible thing happened to you 20 years ago, it is still bothering you. It's bad enough that things that are happening are bothering you. Why things that are not happening are bothering you? I don't understand. Literally, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense that something that's not happening would be bothering you. You hear me? I want to challenge you, right? If it is still bothering you, you're doing it. And it is something you're doing. And every time it comes up, you push it back down. Right? So you start to understand the seriousness of this. My life is about the following. I'm saying for you, I'm speaking for you. One, events are going to happen. Events are going to unfold in front of me. They're going to come in. I'm not saying I can't change things in the future. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you can't change things in the past. You cannot change things in the past. I don't care how much, but I really didn't like it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can't change things in the past, no matter how much you didn't like it. And guess what else you can't change? You cannot change what just happened. At the moment it happens, it becomes the past. Like the event actually took place. The only thing you can change is that which hasn't happened yet. You can only change what hasn't happened yet. We'll get there. But already, like 99% of it's covered. You can't change what already happened. That's a lot. And you can't change what's actually happening. You just said what you said. I don't like it. Well, too bad, because it's already said. So the present moment and the past are things you have to vow to yourself. Start with the present. I'm not storing more stuff in here. It's too costly. It ruins my life. It ruins my health. It ruins my emotions. It ruins my mental state. It ruins my life. I don't do it anymore. Wow, that would be enough if you just said, the moment that's unfolding in front of me, I am going to learn to let pass through me. There's somebody driving in front of me going 10 miles an hour below the speed limit. I'm in a rush. For the last 5 minutes, I've been talking to that person, and what I've been saying is not very nice, right? And that person is not hearing me at all. All I'm doing is making myself sick. Therefore, that's a no-brainer. The cost-benefit analysis of doing that is stupid. You go into the stupid category because you're not changing anything. It's not bothering anybody else. It's only bothering you. And what's going to happen is you're going to store it. And even when the person turns, it can keep bothering you, maybe for the rest of the day. Okay? And if you see another car later that looks like that car, you'll probably get in an accident and getting away from it. It has left an impression inside of you that is causing you trouble. All right? Don't. Let it come in and let it go. How? It's not a how. It's not like I blocked it. How do I not block it? Don't block it. You're the one who's doing it. Don't do it. I swear, I can't help myself. I always go back to the same example. I want to stop smoking, but I can't. Do you understand how stupid that sounds? Seriously, come on now. For you to smoke, you got to find the cigarette pack. You got to open it up. You got to take the cigarette out. You got to stick it in your mouth, get it in just right. You have to light it, and then you have to inhale. That was like 6 or 8 or 10 things you have to do. Don't do one of them. Just don't do one of them and you will have stopped smoking. How can you tell me you don't know how to stop smoking or that you can't stop smoking? I told you can tell me I can't pick up Mount Everest. I understand that. But you can't say I can't not do what I'm doing. Just don't do it. It's not a matter of I'm not good enough to do it. Just don't do it. Don't pick up the cigarette. Don't light it. So the answer is, of course, you can do it or not do it. You just don't want to. And that's why I talk to the way I do. I don't need to give you a technique. The moment you decide, I don't want to store this stuff inside of me, then don't. You're the one who's doing it. Just don't do it. Right? You're right there. You're going to watch yourself start to get in this stupid state of complaining about the car in front of you. Don't. I don't care what technique you use. Do a mantra, do a meditation, sing a song. Whatever you want to consciously do instead of doing that is going to be better, isn't it? Get used to doing that. Take control of the wheel in there. Don't just let it do whatever it's doing the way it always does, creating these terrible habits of storing the stuff in there. So you take a vow to yourself that whatever I need to do, use whatever techniques you need, whatever happens, doesn't mean I'm not going to deal with it later, right? Even in a moment I'll deal with it. But if it happened, I'm not storing it in here. And do you know how much better you're going to be at dealing with something you need to deal with? Because if you can't handle it when it comes in, it's going to bother you. Can a bothered person work with something? If we're in a relationship and you tell me, I'm not doing so well, I need to have a talk with you tonight. And I can't handle that. I can't handle that. It's freaking me out. And I go, my God, I need you so much. And I didn't know you're having trouble. What did I do wrong? By the time I sit down to talk to you, the first words, I'll take the first words. What did I do? How did I hurt you? I didn't do anything. Why do you need to talk to me? Well, that's real good. That'll work out really well. So if you can't handle something when it happens, you're not going to be able to handle the next moment because you're busy trying to handle yourself. You're trying to handle your reaction. You're not dealing with the moment. You're dealing with your reaction to the moment. You're always better off letting go immediately. The moment you see that it's causing disturbance in there, honor. Don't say it's not causing disturbance. Yes, some things come in that cause disturbance. Rattlesnakes rattling in front of you is not comfortable. Things can come in that don't feel so good. Is that okay with you? That's a rhetorical question. It's the ultimate rhetorical question. The answer is yes. Why? Because it already happened. So it better be okay with me. Is it okay with you that Saturn has rings? It's none of my business. Right? It doesn't matter whether it's okay with me that Saturn has rings or not, because Saturn has rings. I'm not asking you if it's okay with you that what just happened. It already happened. It's none of your business. Can you handle it? Yes. Now what? Now deal with it. So nobody's telling you not to deal with that. As I said, you can affect the next moment. You just can't affect the last one or the one that just happened. The next one, so bring your good game back, not your disturbed game, not your reactionary game, but your conscious clarity into the moment. And if there's something to deal with it. That's very, very simple, all right? All right. Now, if you will do that with the present things that are coming in, you will be, it's like practicing tennis. You'll become better with your forehand, better with your backhand, better with your slams, better with everything because of experience. You just learn how to let go. I call this letting go. You learn how to let go. Do you see it? Let go doesn't mean this. I grabbed it, now I need to let it go. No, let go means you don't grab it. It's not a struggle. It's a non-struggle. It's a non-doing. You relax. Instead of resisting it, you relax. And it will pass right through if you keep letting go. All right, now what's going to happen, I have to warn you, as you get better at that and you let go of more and more things that are happening all day, your stuff from the past is going to start to come up. You don't have to go down there and find it. No, it'll find you. You don't have to do a single thing. Don't you worry, a single thing. If you always say, well, how do I know what to get rid of next? None of your business. What is in front of you is what you let go of, period. Both in terms of what's happening now and in terms of what's coming back up from the past. And if it's in there, it's coming back up. You don't have to go fishing for it. You don't have to do anything. It is not natural for it to stay in there. It required you to keep it in there. So now that you're learning how to let go, when it comes back up, use the same learning that you used about the car driving in front of you, that you used about stopping smoking, that you used about not, whatever it is, use it to relax and release the stuff that's coming up. Now you're getting somewheres. When you reach that state, people come to me all the time, even in the first state, which is what I call the honeymoon stage, where it seems like, oh my God, it's easy to let go of the car in front of me, or George didn't say what I wanted, and I just let it go. My life's so much better. And you just keep working with this, and you think, oh, this is going to be easy, until the old stuff starts coming up. That old stuff's got power over you. That's why you stored it. But that's the rocks. Those are the ones you want to let go of because they're disturbing your life. So when they come up, since you practiced doing it with your everyday things, you little by little let go. You let go. And then because you did those, you can do the next ones. And pretty soon it's just totally natural. It's not even a struggle. It's just the most natural thing in the whole world. All you do all day is let go. Some people are out there trying to get married. Some people are out there trying to get rich. You're in there trying to let go. Doesn't mean you don't get married. Doesn't mean you don't get rich. But that's not what you're about. You're about letting go. So now instead of the marriage or the relationship or the money being what lets you go travel so you can compensate for your blockage, you don't need that anymore. Doesn't mean you don't have it, but you don't need it anymore because you're letting go of your blockages. And at some point, as you let go of these blockages, something very big is going to happen. You're going to feel this shift inside. Sometimes it happens gradually. You hardly notice it. Sometimes people come to me and say, oh my God, all of a sudden this whole piece broke off. It's just the whole shift is happening inside of me, because you are letting go, and that whole structure you built in there to hide from yourself is starting to crack down. It's very important then to welcome that, to let that go. And then you'll start to realize that every day of your life you're different than you were the day before. Positive. You have more energy, you have more clarity, you're sharper, you remember things, you don't get spacey, you're just right. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. It's like an athlete in the zone. You start to live in the zone all the time, because you're not getting distracted and blocked, and then more energy comes. And no matter where you're at, I'm sharing you this, I've done this for 45 years, all right? No matter where you're at, you're nowhere. You always think you're somewhere until the next piece breaks off. And you have way more energy than anything you ever dreamt of. And you start to catch on. There's infinite energy. It's an eternal process of evolution, of growth, of liberation. And I'm in it for the game. And you just keep letting go. You keep letting go. And you get more and more energy. That because you have more energy, you can let go of bigger stuff. And eventually, the next stage is something happens to you. It could be gradual or sudden. But it's real. The energy flow will become so strong, so free, that it doesn't flow down past the blockages anymore. It starts to flow up, and you literally feel the difference. It is inside of you. It's like if I poured water on you from the top of your head, or I poured water from underneath, you would feel the difference, even with your eyes closed. All this energy that used to go down and struggle and feed your mind and your thoughts and your emotions, and oh my God, there was so much outward flowing energy. When you remove the blockages, it starts to be freed and to flow up. And you feel this constant rush, steady rush of energy pouring inside of you, raising you, feeding you, liberating you. Your meditations become spontaneous. You don't even need to put the time aside. You can't help yourself. You're sitting there watching TV, you're sitting there washing the dishes, you're sitting there driving a car, and all of a sudden, all this energy pulls you deep inside, and so on. So your natural state is liberation. Your natural state is so beautiful, it's incomprehensible. You have this beautiful flow, and there are energy centers inside. I don't want to teach them to you. I never teach them to you, because I want you to experience them. You have to know, and all of a sudden you'll feel this tremendous in your heart, in your third eye, in your top of your head. You start feeling energy flow up there, and all your chakras open, and all the energy flows through them and feeds you, and your life becomes ecstasy and joy. And then so much energy is flowing off of you that anyone who comes near you, their life becomes ecstasy and joy. People always write me, well, how do I teach, right? Just become, and it teaches. It's not about anything else. And so this path is beautiful. I purposely did nothing tonight but talk about the energy flow. Do you see that? There is an energy flow. It gets blocked, and when it's blocked, everything below it is screwed up. When it gets purified and cleaned, your body feels healthier. Literally, you could be 70 years old and feel better with your body than when it was 20. It is the energy flow that is doing everything. And you saw the main thing I attribute the disturbance of the energy flows to the mind. That mind is a problem because it is guiding all the energy. And if you will look what your thoughts are, I don't think you really want the energy guided there. It misguides the whole thing. So you learn to work with yourself, to free yourself, to liberate yourself. And all the rest will happen naturally. So this is the science of yoga. Even though we didn't talk about asanas or meditation or anything like that. It is the science of inner purification. It is the science of liberating, getting out of the way, so this beautiful flow of energy can overcome you and so on. Ultimately, we went to many stages. The great masters, the energy flow became so strong that it pulled them into it, that the whole of the awareness, instead of being conscious of the outside world, the energy flow inside got so strong that they got pulled into that. And that's a whole other stage of the inner growth. And ultimately, the truly great ones let go completely. They just literally, it's almost like death. You let go completely, and then your separate consciousness ceases, and you merge. That's what yoga means. It means union. You merge with the universe. You merge with all of the Shakti of creation. It's a very beautiful life you have. You're a very great being. And you're not a beggar. You don't need other people to be the way you want to be. You don't need a certain job. You don't need to look a certain way. You don't have to be afraid of getting old. You're whole and complete within yourself. And so you devote your life to this process of purification, and very great things happen. Jagrata.